I'm young Homer, here to guide you further into the rise and fall of Zeus. Tonight, we arrive at episode 25, the fall of Sisyphus, an eternal punishment. In this tale, we witness the fate of Sisyphus, a mortal who defied the gods with his cunning and arrogance, and the price he paid for his defiance. Condemned by Zeus, Sisyphus is forced to push a boulder up a hill, only to watch it roll back down each time, a cycle of endless struggle and an enduring reminder of the gods' authority. As we enter this story of defiance and consequence, allow yourself to sink deeply into the warmth and comfort of your bed, feeling grounded and safe. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a slow, gentle breath in, feeling your lungs fill with calm. And as you exhale, release any lingering tension, letting your body grow heavy, sinking into stillness. This time is yours to let go, to unwind, and to be at ease. Let's begin by focusing on the natural rhythm of your breath. Each inhale and exhale as steady as footsteps on a quiet path. Now, take a slightly deeper breath in and hold it gently for a moment. As you exhale, imagine any tightness dissolving, leaving only comfort and ease. One more time. Breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, feel yourself settling even further, completely at peace. Now, we'll guide each part of the body to relax, inviting calmness with every breath. Start with your forehead, letting it soften completely as you exhale. Move to your jaw, releasing any tension, allowing it to rest and ease. Now, bring attention to your shoulders. Inhale deeply, then let them fall gently with your exhale as though they are releasing all the weight of the day. Allow your arms and hands to rest by your sides, heavy and at peace. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest and belly, inhaling as your belly rises, and on the exhale, allowing any last bits of tightness to drift away. Shift to your hips and thighs, letting them sink further into your bed, fully supported and relaxed. And finally, bring focus to your calves, feet, and toes, letting them release completely, grounded and serene. Now, imagine yourself on a misty, silent hilltop under an endless sky. At the base of the hill stands Sisyphus, his gaze fixed on the massive boulder before him. As he pushes it upward, the weight is tremendous, yet he continues, step by step, his path unending, his resolve steady, even in the face of eternity. With each breath, feel yourself surrounded by the stillness of this timeless scene, as though you, too, are part of the quiet endurance of the mountain. Inhale deeply, letting this feeling of calm strength fill you, and exhale, feeling steady, grounded, and at peace. With your body relaxed and your mind open, allow the story to guide you into this world of lessons and resilience, where even in struggle, there is a rhythm, a timeless flow. Take one last deep breath in and let it out softly. Now, let us begin. Among mortals, Sisyphus was known as a man of extraordinary wit and cunning, a king whose intelligence and charm won him favor and admiration. But Sisyphus's cleverness masked a darker ambition, a disregard for the gods, and a desire to escape the fate that bound all mortals. To him, the rules of Olympus were mere obstacles, challenges to be outsmarted rather than honored. His life was filled with bold acts of deception, trickery, and defiance. He boasted of outwitting both men and gods alike, delighting in his own cleverness and believing himself untouchable. But his defiance went beyond simple disregard. He openly mocked the gods, convinced that he was beyond their reach. And so, with each act of deceit, he grew bolder until even the gods took notice of his insolence. It was not long before Sisyphus's defiance reached a level that could no longer be ignored. The first incident that drew Olympus's attention occurred when he betrayed Zeus by revealing a secret that the god had entrusted to him. In a moment of pride, Sisyphus divulged Zeus's plans to another, boasting of his insider knowledge as though the gods were mere players in his schemes. Zeus, angered by this betrayal, knew that he could not let Sisyphus's arrogance go unpunished. Yet, when Thanatos, the god of death, came to claim him and bring him to the underworld, Sisyphus used his cunning to cheat death itself. By pretending to welcome Thanatos and then ensnaring him in unbreakable chains, Sisyphus managed to trap the god of death, binding him in his own chains. This act prevented any mortal from dying, creating chaos on earth as mortals who should have passed on continued to walk among the living. The gods watched with growing frustration as Sisyphus's actions disrupted the natural order. Without Thanatos to guide souls to the underworld, the balance of life and death was thrown into disarray. Mortals who were wounded, aging, or suffering could not pass on, trapped in a state of limbo that defied the laws of nature. Ares, god of war, was particularly angered by Sisyphus's interference. His battles, which were meant to end in glory or sacrifice, became meaningless as warriors were unable to fall. Seeing the balance of the cosmos thrown into turmoil, Ares demanded that Zeus take action against the cunning king who dared to meddle with forces beyond his understanding. Zeus, recognizing the severity of Sisyphus's actions, sent Hermes to free Thanatos and capture Sisyphus. It was clear that Sisyphus's bold defiance required a punishment that would both restore the natural order and serve as a cautionary tale to all mortals who dared to challenge the gods. Though Thanatos was freed and Sisyphus was finally taken to the underworld. The cunning king was not yet finished with his schemes. Anticipating his own death, he had instructed his wife, Merope, to forego the traditional burial rites, leaving his body unburied and unhonored. When he arrived in the underworld, he approached Persephone, queen of the underworld, with yet another lie. Feigning humility, Sisyphus pleaded with Persephone, claiming that his wife's failure to perform the proper rites had deeply dishonored him. "Allow me to return to the mortal realm for a brief moment," he begged, "so that I may set things right and ensure that the proper offerings are made." Moved by his seemingly sincere request, Persephone granted him temporary release, allowing him to return to the world of the living to fulfill his supposed duties. But once back in the mortal realm, Sisyphus had no intention of returning to the underworld. He resumed his life with newfound arrogance, laughing at how easily he had once again outwitted the gods. Believing himself invincible, he continued to rule his kingdom, unrepentant and proud of his audacity. Zeus's patience had worn thin. Sisyphus's repeated defiance and flagrant disregard for divine authority required a punishment that would leave no doubt of the god's power. Summoning Hermes, Zeus ordered the swift recapture of Sisyphus, and this time he ensured that no trickery or deceit would allow him to escape. Sisyphus was seized and brought once more to the underworld, his protests falling on deaf ears as the gods watched. Zeus himself decreed that Sisyphus would suffer a punishment as eternal as his arrogance, a punishment that would serve as a reminder of the limits of mortal cunning and the inevitability of divine justice. In the deepest part of the underworld, far from the peaceful Elysian fields, Sisyphus's eternal punishment awaited him. Zeus commanded that he be given a task so endless and futile that it would break his spirit and humble his pride. Sisyphus was condemned to push a massive boulder up a steep hill, a boulder enchanted to roll back down each time he neared the summit. As Sisyphus strained against the weight, pushing the boulder with every ounce of his strength, he would reach the top, only to watch helplessly as the boulder slipped from his grasp, tumbling back to the base of the hill. Day after day, he would begin anew, each effort ending in the same agonizing failure. There was no end to his toil, no moment of rest or reprieve. His cleverness, his defiance, his pride, all were rendered meaningless against the relentless weight of his punishment. This endless labor became the symbol of his defiance turned to despair, a reminder that no mortal, no matter how cunning, could escape the justice of the gods. The other souls in the underworld looked upon Sisyphus with a mixture of pity and fear. His punishment was a lesson etched into the fabric of the underworld, a warning that reached beyond the realm of the dead and into the mortal world. Mortals and gods alike came to know the story of Sisyphus, the man who had dared to challenge Olympus and was now bound to an eternity of fruitless labor. Even Persephone, who had once granted Sisyphus a brief reprieve, observed his torment with a somber understanding. She knew that justice, while often harsh, was necessary to maintain balance. For the gods, Sisyphus's punishment was a reminder of the fine line between compassion and order, a line that could not be crossed without consequence. Over time, the tale of Sisyphus spread through both mortal and divine realms as a symbol of hubris and the cost of defying the gods. Mortals, inspired and warned by his story, recognized the limits of their own cleverness and the importance of humility. The sight of a mountain or a heavy stone would bring to mind the image of Sisyphus endlessly laboring, his punishment a reminder of the balance that must be respected between gods and men. The gods, too, reflected on Sisyphus's punishment. While they upheld their rule with justice, they understood that true authority was not only a display of power, but also a means of guiding mortals. In Sisyphus's fall, they saw both a lesson in the dangers of arrogance and a testament to the enduring strength of divine law. Though Sisyphus's spirit had once been unbreakable, his punishment served as a reminder that even the proudest of mortals must respect the order of the cosmos, a respect that, when ignored, would lead to eternal consequence. For eons, Sisyphus continued his punishment. Each attempt to reach the top of the hill met with the same inevitable failure. His plight became more than just a tale of defiance. It became an enduring symbol of struggle and perseverance, of ambition unchecked, and the endless pursuit of meaning in a task that could never be completed. In his suffering, Sisyphus embodied the limits of mortal power and the wisdom that comes from understanding those limits. He had challenged the gods, and in doing so, had become a reminder to all who would dare defy the divine that there are forces beyond even the cleverest mortal's control. But even as the gods enforced justice, questions of power and control remained. Join us in the next episode as Zeus faces a new struggle, the limits of his own authority over fate, and the realization that even a king of gods cannot control every outcome in a world bound by destiny. Until we meet again, may your path be filled with peace, strength, and a touch of magic. I'm young Homer, and I look forward to our next story together.